going to go into the pits tomorrow. This could be the bad book of all bad books. So I don't believe it myself, and I'll have to wait to see what happens tomorrow. But the monthly trends do come out tomorrow, and we'll probably have them on the show. And even if they're, even if they suck, even if they're bad, I'll go ahead and lay them on you. I'm not embarrassed. But other people around here could be, who knows. But this is an unscreened Thursday, so you can start calling in right now at 624-9400 in Dade, 524-9400 if you're in Broward, and whatever you would like to talk about this afternoon. I hope the calls are better than the calls I heard on Uncle Neil's show this morning, which were the pits. The rumor is that he did pretty good. But, of course, we won't know definitively until tomorrow afternoon. And the rumor is this show died, and the rest of WINZ did not do well. I mean, died to the effect that, we were way up there, and probably are going to take a dip. So we'll see how far the dip. We knew we were going to go down tomorrow, because we, in the rolling monthly, the tri-monthly, what they call the rolling, the 3 months, we lose a good month, which I think is October. And so we'll have to see what we shall see. If the phone reaction is a gauge, then it would not surprise me. But, I don't understand it, because I'm not doing really anything different than I was doing, 4 months ago when we had colossal ratings, and 3 months ago and 2 months ago, and when we got an 8-2 in that demographic, and a 7-0 in the 25 to 54 men. I don't think I've been doing anything different, so I don't know where they would go other than to FM music, because the other guys that are on against me, Rantel and Kane, are still doing exactly the same boring tripe that they've been doing on the radio down here, for 25,000 years. So it's going to be interesting to try to gauge as to where, if we did lose our audience, or, a number of our audience, a percentage of our audience, try to figure out where in the hell they went. But we shall see what we shall see tomorrow. The law, justice, and law. But, I don't really know what direction that show's going in. I've been trying to figure it out, and, I don't know. Now we're into the guest thing. And I thought the original concept for talk on this radio station was to de-guest the talk shows, because obviously his competition has nothing but guests, because you got talk hosts working on IOD and snooze who cannot function unless they have guests sitting in the studio with them,
Great. Well, I'll admit to you, I went over to the Isle of Dirge from 10 to 2.
Well, we hate to see you do that.
Yeah, well, it's...
Do you listen to Neil in the morning?
Yes, I do. Listen to Neil, then I come in to work. As soon as he goes off, I listen to IOD a little, and sometimes I can't stand what they're doing. But, it's a little mind stimulation as compared to... I don't know. They just lost me. I don't know.
And then you're back over here at 2 o'clock?
Yeah, on the nose at 2 o'clock. I'm back over to you.
How long do you listen to this show?
Basically the whole 4 hours, unless I get home before 6 o'clock.
Uh-huh. Okay, well, I'm glad you stuck with us.
Yeah, I got to tell you that Mr. Ego and Lyle were knocking you and Stan today.
You mean me and Neil?
You and Neil, excuse me. Yeah, they were knocking you about the melting pot thing.
Oh, yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're saying stuff like Neil can't get advertisers unless he offers 2 for 1.
Oh, yeah, well, they've been spreading that rumor for a long time, which is absolute fallacy.
Yeah, and also, Mr. Ego said that he had a restaurant that Neil tried to get as a sponsor, and they took a few commercials at 2 for 1, and as soon as the deal ran out, they dropped Neil.
Mm-hmm.
And they were taking some shots at you, too,
Well, of course, when you're as desperate as they are. Here you've got a guy named Paul Lyle who doesn't even have a full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
And you got Mr. Ego, who can't do it. He can get on national television, but he can't get any listeners in Miami. Does that tell you anything?
Sure it does.
And they've got a bang-up sales department over there that can sell nothing, and they're proving it. You know, they're selling nothing. I mean, what's he doing again today? Lyle had another contrived debate. Kane's got this guy on who's been all over every talk show in the city for I don't know how many years.
Right.
I mean, is there anything new about this? I mean, is this something to listen to on the radio, I ask you?
Well, I agree with you that it's contrived debate, but sometimes I just like to stimulate my mind, whether or not it's Hmong or you know. It's just that what Jay does, I just feel like it's some kind of clique thing. You know, it's like a family show, and if you're not part of the family, you're an outsider.
Mm. Okay, well, we'll see what the trends show tomorrow.
Good luck, Stan.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye. That's our first crank. Hello, Dade.
Hi, Stan. I have to agree with everything that last guy said.
Well, I don't want to turn this into a platform on the Jay Michaels show, okay?
All right, I understand that.
I want to talk about the Stan Major show. I want to know if I'm doing anything that's turning people off. That's what I'm concerned about. I don't care what I follow or who follows me. I want to, you know, I'm worried about 2 to 6.
Yeah.
I could care less about the rest of the time.
Well, I like your show a lot. I've been listening to you since you were down here the first time.
Yeah. Now, do you think these guys, Don Jr. and EJ, and all of these juniors we have calling in, do you think it's just getting to be a little too much?
I really do.
Yeah.
Really do. It was funny, but it gets old after a while.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm really interested because if if the trends are down that far tomorrow, we're obviously going to have to step back and take a look at what we've been doing the last couple of months.
Well, regardless of whatever the trend shows, Stan, you've still got the best show on AM.
Oh, there's no doubt about
every
that.
Every day, it's
I agree with
you.
you.
Great.
I agree with you. Okay, and for those people over there at that dead radio station where they use board ops as talk show hosts, meaning IOD.
Oh, that's terrible.
They can sit and count my commercials now if they want to. Okay. All right.
All right. Thanks a lot.
They couldn't do that a few months ago, but they can do it now.
Yep.
All right.
All righty.
Good to talk to you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Hello, Dade.
Hi, Stan.
How are you?
Fine. How are you?
Good.
I just called to say hello and that I like your show.
And how long have you been listening?
Oh, quite a while. Quite a while now.
And you haven't turned it off?
Oh, no, I enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
What I wanted to ask you is, some time ago you were giving out the Pope shirts. Do you have any left under your desk?
Are you kidding?
No, because I wrote a long time ago when you started out, and I never got one.
No, we ran out of those.
Oh, that's a shame. Well, keep it up, because I like...
Well, I'll tell you what we did. We did keep the letters.
Oh.
Okay, so if we fall into something where we're going to have something else to give away like that, the letters that we have on our desk, and I think there are about 200 of them, take preference, okay?
Listen, keep your spirit up, because your show is good as long as you keep up. So keep it up, because you have a good attitude, so keep it up.
Okay, dear, thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
I appreciate it. Well, it's an unscreened Thursday. Let's take a break here, John, and the calls are coming in today, which is great. And we've only had, one crank so far? And I'd really like to tap into your brain to see if you're still out there. Obviously, if you're calling, you're still out there and you're still listening. But I'd like to know, how you feel about the program and how you feel about all these groupies that have tended to hover around the program. They're delightful people. They are just wonderful people, but, I guess from time to time, it does get just a little much. And I don't want to tee them off because they're not paid for what they do. But, we'll see how you feel about it. That's the important thing. I'm open to your suggestions. You can play program director, and we'll do. This is what we would normally do tomorrow, but we're jumping the gun on it because I want to give you what probably is going to be the news today, and that is that the trends for this show are going to be down, and I'm faced with that, and that's the way it's going to be tomorrow. So it won't be that disappointing when it comes in. I don't think we died or anything, but we were pretty high up, and maybe we leveled off some. We'll take a break and be back at Unscreened Thursday at 624-9400 in Dade, 524-9400 in Broward. All the lines are busy. Just keep trying till you get through. I'll answer the phone. You'll be right on the air, so be ready to turn your radio down. The major program on WINZ.
But the kid, and I called him on the air at about 9:15 this morning, this fruitcake jerk. And, I said to him, isn't it interesting that they haven't even put the numbers in the computers in Beltsville, Maryland yet, and you're already making up numbers?
What did he say?
Well, then he said, the 6.1 is Peter Bolger's IQ, and he started to try to be cute, and got defensive because he's just making up numbers. So don't come on here and get all bent out of shape. And
no, I'm not. But I am prepared for the worst.
About anybody going up or down or in or out until tomorrow, because he's just making it up.
Well, we know you're going to do good.
Well, I'm sure I'm going to do good, and I think you'll do good, too. And
wouldn't it be incredible if you were number one?
The fact that people aren't calling doesn't mean that you don't have people listening, and that's what you got to understand in this market.
Where did you get those calls this morning?
The worst calls in history was...
the one lady who called who didn't know your name? That was incredible.
Yeah, that was great.
Jeez. Well, is that because Dennis Folger was screening your calls this morning?
That interesting. We just went on delay there for a second. I beg your pardon. Yes, Captain Dave is sick. He's a little under the weather.
Yeah.
Too many mushrooms. But anyway, they don't have any idea what the numbers are going to be. And as I started to say before I was rudely interrupted...
I'm sorry.
The fact that the phones don't ring in this town doesn't mean who's listening and who's not listening. And I can't relate to it either. I get very upset about when they don't ring. But some of the biggest numbers I've had have been during periods of time when people weren't calling.
Yeah.
So that doesn't mean anything.
Well, we got ripped on the Isle of Dementia.
I heard that call, and, it's really interesting, the fact that people will get on the air and lie to their teeth because they're so paranoid. If they're doing so great over there, and if Kane is such a hotshot, why is it necessary for him to badmouth us? But the bottom line is he's badmouthing because he's defensive, because he's getting all that money and he's got no numbers. And Paul Lyle, who's on before him, has no business being on the air in the first place. He's got about as much credentials as the guy he replaced. He's only there as a temporary flunky until they bring this jerk Ed Till in from Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And that station really is a disgrace. It's a shadow of what he used to be, and that management is going to, it's going to put them out of business before they're finished.
Boy, there's 2 radio stations in this market that are like that. She on the FM.
Yep.
And
absolutely. In fact, you notice the people who are pulling all the games and playing all the dirty tricks are the ones that are the most desperate.
Yeah.
She is putting people up to calling you and to calling me and, hiring every kind of consultant and pulling every trick in the book to try to salvage a dying station. And they can't do it. They're not going anywhere. And the same is true at IOD. And Kane can make up every kind of story. The restaurant he's talking about, you ate with me there, and it was a very good restaurant, the East Ocean over on Fort Lauderdale.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they ran a grand total of about 3 spots on my show, which we don't give any 2-for-1s, by the way. That's a flagrant lie, but he can, if it soothes his ego and serves his purpose, he can continue saying it in between his talks with Michael DeSisto.
Yeah.
Which the fact that he continues to put that man on the air has got to be one of the great disgraces in the history of the business. The same tired Jack Leibowitz and Bob Kunst and Michael DeSisto, the same crap day in and day out, and he's got the nerve to go on national television and tell people that he's a talk show host?
Yeah.
He's just a parrot. He hasn't got an original idea in his head. But, they ran a grand total of about 3 spots, and you know as well as I do that you're not going to get anybody any kind of results in that period of time. And when I went over there with a couple of people about a week later, and I told you this, there were very, very minimal number of people in there, and they were all blue hairs.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's the response that Kane is getting for that restaurant, and you can see the demographics in the book, he's got nothing but geriatrics because he's doing the same old geriatric kind of talk, then more power to him. I mean, if there are advertisers out there that want blue hairs, then more power to them. Go on the Kane show.
I can't believe that there are advertisers who actually listen to your show and to my show and let their ad agencies put commercials on Kane.
Yep.
Or, it just doesn't make any sense. How come they listen to our show, these advertisers, these businessmen, and then allow their ad agency to convince them that they ought to buy a guy like Kane who is just dead in the water?
Yeah. Well, he could rip what we did yesterday all he wants, but I guarantee you, even though the audience couldn't taste the food we were eating, it was a lot more fun and a lot more entertaining than listening to another 4 hours about how Steve's kids hate him and about the same old tired crap, with Steve and Michael DeSisto telling everybody in the audience how to raise their children.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about the pot calling the kettle black. The guy hasn't got the first idea about where to go at this point. I didn't see the show the other day. I guess you did, the Oprah Winfrey show.
Just bits and pieces of it, because it was on the...
Guy's got the gall to come on and say that issue-oriented talk is dead, and what is he doing? He's doing the same old tired, contrived debates that he's been doing for the 5 or 6 years he's been here. Here he's telling the national audience that it's dead. So,
Yeah.
and I guess when you look at the book, at least he's being honest about that, because he's got no audience.
Yeah.
And what audience he does have is geriatric.
Yeah. Well, how was the pasta this morning?
Pasta was incredible. I just can't begin to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I wish they would have brought it in last Wednesday. They brought in about 20 different kinds of uncooked pasta and said, what do you want?
Mm.
And I picked out I think it's a red pepper pasta, which is real tangy and tasty with the meat sauce, and it was incredible.
Mm.
Here we go see Horing again for
Yeah, right.
one of our sponsors. You
Yeah.
know, here's a guy who gets, I hate to get bogged down in Kane because we're falling into the trap of talking about him, which is just what he wants.
Yeah, it's exactly what he wants, and,
Comes down with 80 different restaurants, and he's been doing this for 5 years, and each one of them is the best restaurant in town.
Yeah.
And if he's got 6 Chinese restaurants, each one is the best Chinese restaurant in South Florida. You know, if you can do that, it's a miracle. I don't know how that works.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you can explain that to me.
I can't. Okay, Uncle Neil.
Have a great time, Stan, and don't panic. We'll plenty of time for that tomorrow.
Yes, right.
And as far as those chronics, I'm glad to hear that you're finally coming around, okay?
Yeah.
I'm telling you that as a friend, that those people are going to put you in the insane asylum.
I am getting that feeling.
I had, in fact, here I'm playing that thing as a joke, that DJ tape this morning that he did for my show.
Yeah.
And Sherry Valenci comes running in and says, oh, DJ just called off the air to say you're still buddies. You know, get a life, guys. Get a life. Go do something else. Go run your business. Go make some money. We can survive real well without you, you know?
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Adios.
Bye-bye. Okay, I forgot who I said was first. Hold on a second. I
That
think
was me.
That was you.
I
Gotcha.
believe so.
Yeah.
Said I was next during the George Harrison bit.
Yeah, right.
All right. Hey, listen, though. Now, I don't think I get too aggravated about rumors either, right yet. Because, you know, that guy he did, he called in and said that, you know, Neil was going to have a 6-1 tomorrow, and, you know, Neil would make...
Yeah, now it's down to a 5-9.
Yeah, right?
I mean, tomorrow morning it'll be down to a 4-6.
Yeah, right, I don't know. Well,
you know, like picking numbers out of the hat, you know, like...
I don't know. These people get on these power trips when they get their home computers and they figure out how to use them, and then when they figure out that they've been beaten at their own game and they're not going to get the stuff early, then they got to start making it up.
This is the same idiot, by the way, who didn't get any of the numbers right the last time.
Yeah.
So what can I tell you?
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't start lining up all the guests just yet, you know, because I think there must be a reason why people are listening to this show in the first place.
Well, I'm sure Michael DeSisto's available, or whatever his name
at least
is.
one day a week.
Yeah, right. Maybe he'd like to be a sidekick.
Stan, by the way, did you happen to listen to the CBS News there at 2 o'clock? Did you happen to hear the story about the milk?
No.
Oh, Jesus, man. They were talking about recalling these milk cartons because they found condoms.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that down in Texas.
They said that this is not a health risk.
Well, it depends on whether they were used or not.
Yeah, well, see, I wish they would have told us that. I mean, personally, I don't drink milk, and I'm glad.
Thanks a lot.
I mean, can you imagine? This puts a weird picture in
What was the last one they found a condom in? They found it in a cake or something? Or
I don't know. I missed that one.
Yeah, that was a few months ago.
You know, but okay, now, if they're used, I think there could be a health risk.
Yeah, there obviously could. Yeah, that would be terrible.
Yeah, that really would.
But you don't want even, you know, I mean, even if it's still in the plastic package, you know, when it drops in your milk glass, man, that'll, you know, it'll ruin your breakfast, right?
I mean, yeah. I mean, now, they say the unsinkable taste.
Yeah, I've heard about the AIDS campaign for condoms, but this is going too far.
Yeah, just one more quick point. Listening to you guys eat on the radio has got to be about 1,000,000 times better than going and watching the other guy eat. You know?
Oh, okay, yeah.
I wouldn't worry.
All right.
And take it easy and keep up the whatever.
Whatever.
All right.
Okay, thank you. Hello, Broward.
Hello, Stan.
How are you?
How you doing?
Okay, I see that they've come out with the first condom for women. I'm going to have to read about this, folks.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, no, you know, you shouldn't worry. You got the rating. You'll have it. You should be way up there.
You think so?
I think so. Because I don't listen to none of the other radio shows except Neil in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll turn Jay on before you.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to him on and off. But I listen to you nonstop.
Great. How long you been listening to the show?
Ever since you've been on the air, but in the last couple of months, every day.
Great.
I wait for your show.
Great. Well, I appreciate it.
You know who this is, don't you?
Yeah, babe.
John.
I appreciate it, John.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
And Uncle Neil, you know, he's right. What he says, he's absolutely right.
What was that, about the groupies?
Yeah, about everything.
Oh, okay.
What he was saying about the other guy, the other radio station.
Oh, yeah, over there across the
I used to listen to them a long time ago, but...
That's Has-Been Radio.
That's right, when Rantel was with Kane, you know, when they were on the same radio.
Yeah.
But they're not worth listening to anymore.
It's old hat now. We're the fad.
That's right, you guys.
I just want the fad to last, folks. That's all.
That's right.
Okay? Thank you, John.
And have a good day.
Thank you. Hello, Broward. Okay, somebody hung up. Now, your turn.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Stan, I've been listening to you ever since Daffy left, all right?
Uh-huh.
This is the second time I've called. I've called once before when you had a poll about Don Jr., and I just said, get rid of him, right? And that was about 5:30 the other day, I guess. I've been listening to Neil since about January of '80.